Well, welcome back to the Tim Rumler podcast, everyone. Today it is my pleasure to have as my guest a founder of a fashion brand, a former NBA basketball player, a philanthropist, a coach, and a community member that many people know from the Lansing and the Detroit, Michigan area, Desmond Ferguson. Desmond, welcome to the podcast and the program.
Thanks for having me, man. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Desmond, easy question. Let's do this right off the bat. Let's tell the people, particularly in the Lansing area, what most people know you for in and around the South Central Michigan area.
I'm a proud owner of Moneyball Sportswear. Started back in 2002. Athletic clothing line. Obviously, been here from Lansing. I graduated Lansing High School back in '95. Went on to play college ball, Missouri for a year, then University of Detroit, where I graduated in 2000. And then played professional basketball for 11 years, from 2000 to 2011. But I've been running Moneyball Sportswear since 2002.
Nice. Desmond, let's go back to the beginning, right here in Lansing. What was your childhood like? Were you from a big family? Did you have a lot of siblings? You mentioned the school system. What other sports did you play besides basketball?
The first sport that I played was soccer. I really loved football growing up. That was the sport that I thought I would continue to play. But then I grew a little bit, got a little slower, and basketball was. But I had a great childhood. Born in Detroit, but raised here in Lansing, Michigan. Moved here. My mom got a job at the state of Michigan when I was like 2-3 years old. So it was just me and her for the most part. Then my brother came into the world with about 8.5 years difference, almost 9.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was great growing up. Spent a lot of time in Detroit. All my family, my grandparents lived in Detroit, aunts, uncles, cousins. So we don't have any family in the Lansing area. Like I said, my mother moved up here, but spent a lot of summers with my grandparents and my cousins in Detroit area. But Lansing is where I'm from and home.
Nice. Needless to say, I would imagine you're probably still close to a lot of your friends growing up that you played sports with, hung out in the neighborhood with, so on and so forth?
Definitely. I'm fortunate and blessed that a lot of friends that I grew up with are still friends to this day, so that's special for me, for us.
Desmond, talk a little bit about, with sports being a big part of your life, or it could be non-sports related, but I'm assuming probably sports related. Tell me a little bit about the foundation that was laid by mentors that you had in your life, and if you can even name them by name, that'd be great. People who really, whether it be in Detroit or Lansing, people who really laid that foundation for the way you carry yourself as a man, but also as a businessman as well.
Definitely, growing up in a single-parent household without a father, I really relied on my coaches to be mentors and father figures for me growing up, dating back to growing up at the Boys and Girls Club and playing with the Lansing Warriors and Coach Kane and McLean. Those were my really early influences from a basketball standpoint. But Charlie Johnson, who ran Southside Panthers and was a coach at Everett when I was there as well. Football, he coached me my JV year football, and Coach Miller of the Breakers. So been on the south side of Lansing, those were the core coaches that helped me, grow and get me to the high school level. And then once I got to high school level, Coach Johnny Jones was my high school coach at Everett High School. And he's a great man, great mentor, great father, husband. So to see someone live it out daily is someone that I tried to pattern my life. And then going on to college, great Perry Watson. So I had some great coaches that not only taught me the game of sport of basketball, but also taught me the game of life.
Let's move on to the beginnings of the seedlings of your of your business career. Having the opportunity, and I do want to talk a little bit about your professional basketball career, but let's talk about your travels. From what I've gathered and from learning a little bit about you for this podcast, you traveled the world. And you had the opportunity to see a lot of different cultures. How did that in itself, those resources really help you with beginning the business, seeing what was out there, other countries, the way they operate, their companies, or especially even in particular the fashion brands? How did that help you, at least in the beginning, start to hone in on what kind of business you wanted to begin?
Oh, tremendously. 11 years I played professional basketball. I played in 11 different countries. So it allowed me to experience different cultures, different food, different languages, different way of life, and establish a lot of great relationships. Some of the guys I played with, still keep in touch with to this day. But my first year playing, I was in Holland in 2000, 2001, and I started thinking about what I wanted to do with my money. And I was, getting paid to do something I love, and the thought of, making basketball uniforms came to mind, not knowing how that would happen. Then a year later, I was able to go to the Philippines, and that's where I met some manufacturers that do what? That make basketball uniforms. So my travels allowed me to start the business. It allowed me to think outside of Lansing, Michigan, outside the state of Michigan, outside of the United States. See how other people live in the world and how they go about their daily lives. But that was the beginning of the thought process of Moneyball Sportswear, and then meeting the manufacturer that helped start the brand.
Are you still close with contacts that you made in and along your basketball career that you still lean on in the business world?
Definitely. A friend of mine that introduced me to the manufacturer in the Philippines. We still, stay in touch, and then I'm still obviously keeping in touch with my manufacturer. And even my first year, well, not my first year, but I was in Bulgaria in 2004, 2005. Those are guys that came up with the Moneyball logo that we now use and have, the MD logo. I held on to it for a few years, and I think we released it maybe 2006, 2007, but the original logo was a silhouette of me shooting a basketball, and we progressed on to the MD. So being overseas, if I didn't meet those young fellas that made our logo, no telling what it would look like today.
Absolutely. Let's get right into the business of Moneyball a little bit. Clothing industry is not an easy business to be in, and you really got to kind of cut your teeth right from the beginning. And it's there's no doubt about it. Anybody in business knows that the clothing business, restaurant business, those are tough industries. Had you always been interested in fashion, or just the interest in providing a quality uniform to teams that were in need? What really started that really beginnings of getting your thoughts going on providing a sportswear brand?
Well, I knew I always wanted to own a business. Didn't know I would be in the clothing industry.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to be involved with sports, some shape, form, or fashion. So I know how basketball uniforms look, feels, so forth. So I started off with that. Study the market industry, and at the time, there wasn't a lot of companies they were giving you basic uniforms at a premium price.
Mm-hmm.
So once I studied, the industry, I think a way that we could come in doing custom uniforms and build on a relationship that I already had and future relationships. That's kind of how it started, and then we blossomed into a dual of sports and not just basketball. But wanted to start off obviously with the sport that I knew. So that wasn't a goal to have an athlete of mine, but it just kind of blossomed into that, and it started off as a side hustle and a hobby, and turned into an actual business.
I'm aware of being interested in businesses and how they came about. Kevin Plank, of course, with that Under Armour, he had his teammates and his former teammates wear the gear, and that provided him a lot of free marketing. You're talking early mid 2000s, Desmond, to get your brand going there. Social media influencers, there wasn't a lot of that back then. So how did you get people to really get to know the brand of Moneyball?
And just family and friends selling out the trunk of my truck at the time, riding around the city. I was still playing and going out there and playing open gym in Michigan State. So I would take T-shirts and give to the guys at the time and have them spread the word. So, really just that old school guerrilla marketing, word of mouth, hand to hand.
That's the best way. Sometimes that's the best way. Awesome. assuming you had some roadblocks in the beginning, give me a lesson or two that you really just took away, something, a story or some grit that you took away from some of those early lessons that you had to overcome in the fashion industry. How do you lean on those lessons today? Give me an example or something that you're just hard and fast on. It's a rule that you just won't, you won't give into.
Well, we had that recession around 2008, 2009. Mm-hmm. We almost had to close the doors. At the time, I only had one manufacturer. And, my manufacturer just kind of went haywire from a communication standpoint to everything. And, we went from 4 to 5 week turnaround to 2 or 3 months. And it really hurt us. But at the end of the day, I was transparent with our customers. Fortunate enough, a lot of customers, people that knew who I am and knew what I stand for. So they believed what I was saying when I was just lying. But the one thing I took away from that is, good, bad, and different. You want to communicate with your customers and be transparent. That's what I think I learned the most. And not to only rely on one manufacturing sense. At that time, we only had one manufacturer in the Philippines. If something happened, our business was over. So now we have manufacturers in multiple countries. Not just in case something happens, but for the variety of price points and material and turnaround and such.
Desmond, I was thinking about this last night prior to this interview, and I hope you understand kind of the parallel I'm going to describe here. You and Bigby kind of run in the same parallel. What I mean by that is you guys both started here in the Lansing area, and with that, you are heavily involved with giving back to your community and the youth, and I think I can say that pretty much about Bigby as well. And I've interviewed the founders of Bigby. Can you talk a little bit about why that's so important to you, whether it be your clinics, whether it be the pro-am that you do, whether it be whatever the ventures you're involved in? Can you talk a little bit about that, why that's so important to you to engage those youth?
Yeah, what I represent, what Moneyball Sportswear represent, we will always give back to the community from which we come from. I think that's very important. Since 2004, we've had a free basketball clinic for the kids in the Michigan area. We've done the Moneyball program, which has been free to the public. But when I was growing up, I had the opportunity to attend Dr. Tucker's basketball camp. And being a kid from Lansing, Michigan, small city, not being able to travel the world, I was able to think outside of Lansing because he brought the great Oscar Robinson in town. And, Steve Smith and Andre Wright and John Kemp. So it allowed me to touch, feel, and look at professionals and know that maybe one day I could be that. And when I got in a position where I could do something similar to Dr. Tucker and have a basketball camp and be able to give back to these young people, that's something I wanted to do. So through my life experiences, it allowed me to, give back to the community.
Awesome. Love it. And I think as a founder, it's one of the if not as a founder, then philanthropist, and not even in the money sense, but just your time. That's the best thing you can give back. My mentor, same way, exactly. Just recently learned about your pro-am that you do, especially during the summer. Can you talk a little bit about that? What was the original idea of that? And I know you're a former coach. I know you're a former player. Do you get a little bit of a kick just to, pull the young bucks aside and talk to them about their game a little bit here and there?
Yeah. So when I was, coming up playing basketball and playing pro-am, we had to play down at St. Cecilia in Detroit or the Flint Pro-Am. Lansing didn't have a pro-am, and I feel that Lansing is a basketball city with a lot of basketball enthusiasts. So Ernest Glover, who ran the pro-am at the time, who I was close with, kind of, put me up on game and let me know what I need to do to start here in Lansing. But I had a coach completely different. Flint at the time, Detroit had a lot of professionals, had a lot of pros, so it was good around that. Where Lansing, we didn't have the pros to build around, so we had to build around the college Division I guys. And I had a pretty decent relationship with Israel. So at the time, back in 2004, I sat down with Israel and let him know my vision and plan. In order that to happen, I wanted his guys to play in it. And, he bought in and was down with it. And, we kind of centered our program around the college guys. So you're talking about Michigan State and Oakland University and Western Michigan and Central Michigan and Western, the University of Michigan a little bit. So the college guys and the professionals overseas, and then you have the D2, D3, and junior college guys. But we built it around that, and to be in a position now as an OG or as a veteran to be able to pull some young guys to the side and get them a little game and talk about certain things is I think we have to do that as going through those steps and be able to give back to once again to the young guys we've been in their shoes so to help them be better in any type of way. I think we owe it, and they owe it to the next generation. We keep passing it down and down. That's how we continue to grow and move forward.
Absolutely. No doubt, as a founder of a business, your schedule and just even trying to connect with you and scheduling this podcast, you're a very, very busy man. What do you do to balance your personal life, the things you like to do outside of the store, outside of the office, off the court? I gotta imagine you have some interests, travel, golf, anything along those lines, Desmond, that keeps you busy other than the office?
That's the everyday struggle. How do I continue to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, dedicate time to family and loved ones, and then dedicate time to a growing business that pays the bills.
Yeah.
So that daily balance is always a struggle. I have a young son who's sick, so I definitely want to give him the time and attention that he needs. So I don't have it mastered yet. Hopefully one day I do, but I like to get a little jogging in and clear my mind, some yoga, early morning stretches, things like that. But I want to get to a point where I have more free time to kind of clear my mind and focus on things, because kind of always on the go and always got something going on.
I didn't plan this question, but what do you do to stay on top of business or fashion? Business itself. Let's just say business. Is there a certain websites? Is there certain monthly periodical, anything that comes out or apps that you that you lean on to keep you on top of your business game, or just to always learn, whether it be an Audible book or what have you? What do you, that's the thing about a founder. We're always learning.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have a pretty good team as well. So, you can talk about our custom uniform. I'm not the one sitting here designing. We have a great designer that, is really, really great at what he do. So we lean on him.
Yeah.
But, always try to keep our ear to the street in a sense and see what's going on, see the latest happenings, and, reading various things on the internet. But you have to, social media keeps you involved with a lot of things as well. So, always probably on social media a little too much, but just try to, keep my ear to what's going on and, from a, fashion standpoint, from the economy standpoint, everything. I mean, we're going through some changes, all of us as individuals and in our lives right now, all across the country. So just adjusting, the only constant change, being able to, see that coming and adjust, pivot. I mean, what we had with the last few years of the, pandemic, that was, we all had to pivot from form of fashion.
People don't realize that even in Lansing here, there's a lot of great founders, a lot of great entrepreneurs. People have started great businesses that a lot of people don't know about. And that's, it's part of the vision of this podcast. So, hey, Desmond, at the end of every podcast, I always, and we're going to wrap this up here soon, I always try to throw some home run pitches to the guest just to kind of get their take. Favorite restaurant here in Lansing, or your favorite types of foods to eat?
Well, I'm a vegetarian working on going vegan. So, Zaytoon is one of my favorite. Al-Tuz, which is an Ethiopian spot in East Lansing. I'd probably say those are my top two.
How about travel destinations?
Travel destinations. Man, one thing I don't get, since my son was born, I don't travel as much as I used to, and I want to get back to that. I really like Dominican Republic. I used to go down there every spring and play, play for like a month on some teams down there. So I just like the vibe and energy and how they got the fruit and cutting the pineapples right in front of you and everything. So yeah, I really like Dominican Republic, but I've been to most continents. I haven't been to Africa. That's someplace I want to go. But I'd like to get back to travel a little more.
Are you more of a morning or a late night person as far as during the week, during business?
morning. I've trained myself to be a morning person. Even when I was in high school, I used to get up at 5:30 in the morning, get shots up because I knew competition across town wasn't doing that, and I've been able to carry that same mindset into the business world. So I know if I'm up at 5:30 in the office, not everybody else is. So early morning is my time where it's just myself. There's no phone calls, no email, it's just me. It's just me. So early is always best for me.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. If you were to if somebody were to catch you either playing or watching another sport besides basketball, what would it be?
Right now it's t-ball. That's my son playing, but probably football.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any other founders? It doesn't have to be fashion. Any other founders? Any other entrepreneurs at any level that you admire and that you really still kind of lean on, whether it be Mark Cuban or whoever happens to be?
Yeah, man. The greatest basketball player to ever come out of the city of Lansing, the state of Michigan. As much as he's done, and in my opinion, top 5 player to ever play, I really love and value what he's done off the court, from a business standpoint. So to be able to have, some conversation with him personally, and hopefully to have more, magic allow me to dream outside of Lansing, not only from an athletic standpoint, from a business standpoint, and the things that he's been able to do and the mogul he's become. I'll say he would be the number one person I look up to from that standpoint.
I don't know. Have you had that opportunity to connect with Irvin?
Yeah, we've had some conversations, but even I got his phone number. Magic is still a tough person to get a hold of. One of my bucket list things is to just be able to shadow him for a few days. And Dale Beard, his best friend, was my assistant coach when I was at Lansing Never. So I kind of talked to him at times, but that's still something I want to do, and I plan to do it right before the pandemic, and that hit. But I don't need anything from him, but a little time, some conversation.
That's invaluable. Listen, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time. I don't want to keep you much longer. I want to be respectful. Hopefully our paths will cross again. I'd love to sit down and chat. Thank you for the opportunity today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Desmond.
All right, have a good one.
You bet.